at the court today protesting. Ben, let's start with you. Your take on this. Emotional day, but were the facts advanced in order to bolster Ms. Ford's credibility?
They weren't. I mean, there was no corroborative evidence provided, not one single shred, not one single iota. That doesn't mean that Ford didn't tell a credible story. It doesn't mean that her story wasn't emotionally resonant, but it does mean that we can't simply destroy a man's life and career based on an uncorroborated allegation, no matter how much we have sympathy for the person making the allegation. And there was not one shred of supporting evidence that was brought to back her account. Kavanaugh's denials were just as sincere. They were just as emotionally affecting. And I don't see any reason to suggest, and by the way, the evidence is more on his side than it is on hers. So I don't see any reason to suggest that Kavanaugh's nomination ought to end based on what happened today.
Ariel, were you happy with the Democrats' performance? Because it didn't seem to be bolstering her factual remembrance of what happened. It seemed more like a bunch of little speeches.
Let's remember that this is a lifelong appointment. And don't we want somebody for this appointment who is squeaky clean? Somebody that we are not debating. Maybe they had a severe drinking problem to the point of blacking out. And maybe they grossly sexually assault numerous women.
So you're saying that at this point, there was more factual evidence presented today to make an uncorroborated allegation enough to destroy a man's entire future?
Well, let's first of all remember...
Would you like that if that happened to you? Or if someone came forward and said, Ariel, 30, or you're too young, but 15 years ago, Ariel actually pushed me down a staircase and no one was in the house, but she knows she did it. And I was so traumatized that I couldn't talk about it. And all you can say is, I've never even been at a party with this woman, and she can't produce anyone who was at a party with her. Wouldn't you be mad at this hearing today if you were at a similar inquisition about getting a job and people were not believing you and saying you were angry about refuting the charge? Wouldn't you be angry?
At what point in history do we begin believing women about the problems that we have in this country and in this world with sexual assault?
Women never mistake their attackers, their identities. That never happens?
Ford actually began to disclose as early as 2012.
Okay, we didn't get the notes.
Far before.
Right, Ariel, I'm really glad you came on, but we didn't get those notes. Ben, here is a fact, though. Women are watching. Women do vote. And a lot of women have gotten really jacked up and excited about this Me Too movement because they feel like it's their time. They're heard. They're taken seriously, finally. So how do the Republicans weigh that as they proceed, regardless of whatever happens with this confirmation vote?
I think they simply have to state over and over and over again that trust but verify is still the policy with regard to allegations. A mere allegation alone is not justifying of repercussions. An allegation is not the end of the story. You can believe the woman and still recognize that you must have corroborative evidence before you destroy somebody's life. Otherwise, mere allegations are the end of the story, and that's not a world anybody wants to live in. It's fascinating to watch so many folks on the left who are